Good evening. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Kyle Clark. We have heard it after too many mass shootings that somebody knew that something wasn't right.
So now the city of Aurora is helping people recognize red flags to help prevent dangerous situations before they can happen. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause explains.
As a mom of 3, Takesha Van Ross is used to worrying.
I worry all the time. They are, my life. So whenever they're away from me and I'm not sure what is going on, of course I worry.
Her kids' safety being at risk if a situation should turn violent is always a fear. She hopes social-emotional learning and good behaviors can help keep them safe.
We talk about our feelings, definitely very open, and then just making sure I know their whereabouts, monitor social media, their friends.
Officer Tim Wagner with Aurora Police knows how often people, even kids, are turning to violence.
Yeah, violence is seen more and more frequently as an option, or the only option.
To try and prevent something like a shooting, APD has created a series of trainings for people to recognize concerning behaviors early on. Courtney Tossend is a crisis intervention program manager for the city. She says that knowledge can be life-saving.
I hope parents walk away with an understanding that things can be done. It's not just this hopeless situation of I don't know what to do. I also really hope that parents take away early intervention is key.
APD already works to prevent those situations. Officer Wagner takes in referrals from around the community to quickly connect with people showing concerning behaviors. He says it's working, but they still need the community's help in sounding the alarm early on.
There's not only a community outcry for it as we see more and more of these unfortunate events, but people are starting to say reacting isn't getting us anywhere. We have to be involved. We have to see what else we can do to build that resiliency beforehand, so that we can stop these events.
Van Ross says she'll be making time to attend this training. She knows how important it is.
Being proactive and really knowing what's going on, we could be ahead of whatever may happen.
The next mass violence prevention training by Aurora Police will be held tomorrow night at the Aurora Central Library. It'll focus on a parent's role in preventing violence. These events are free and open to the public. We'll have all that info for you on this web story, 9news.com. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
New tonight, a Denver deputy sheriff is facing a domestic violence charge. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office arrested Lauren Villalpando, who worked at the Denver County Jail. The Denver Sheriff's Department says she's been placed on leave pending the investigation. Villalpando is the 3rd law enforcement officer in Colorado that we're aware of being arrested for domestic violence within the past week.
Now to a live look at downtown Denver right now. The warm temperatures continued in the metro area, but the mountains are bracing for another round of snow. Let's check in with Kathy Sabin. As long as the snow stays up there, I'm fine with it.
I know, Alex, that's what everybody says. Keep the snow where it belongs and bring us some spring weather. That's what I've been hearing just about everywhere that I have been lately. And we still kind of have to keep an eye on incoming storms because this is the time of year, even though the calendar says spring, we can get a pretty good winter type storm as we've seen over the past couple of weeks. It is beautiful outside tonight, no issues at all. We've got light mountain snow coming tonight and tomorrow, but sunshine and 60s for Denver, and it'll carry us right into the holiday weekend. Temperatures this hour still fairly mild at 9 o'clock, 44 in Denver, 45 in Pueblo, and 33 in Eagle. Winds are starting to pick up over the higher terrain. A weather disturbance will be moving in, and that's going to create some scattered snow showers above 8,000 feet. Lower elevations stay dry, and this is all ahead of the main event, which comes in late Sunday into Monday. Not a lot to show you on the radar tonight, but that will be changing. I'll have that on my full forecast coming up.
Guilty on all counts for the truck driver who slammed into I-25 traffic, killing 5 people in Weld County. That unlicensed driver with no insurance tried to blame his bosses at the trucking company.
9 News reporter Kelly Rinke takes us to the courtroom in Greeley, where the jury returned that verdict in a matter of hours.
It only took the jury 5 hours to deliberate in a trial that took 8 days. Jesus Puebla, during this time, since the crash almost 2 years ago, he's been out on bail, but today a judge revoked his bond and deputies walked him away into custody. His defense team has been blaming the trucking company. They said they gave him a vehicle that didn't have working brakes. Yet the jury found Jesus Puebla guilty on all 10 counts after his truck crashed into a car while he was driving 70 miles per hour. Prosecution said Puebla inspected exit the truck before getting on the highway. As each of the guilty verdicts was read, family of the 5 people killed became increasingly emotional. It's been almost 2 years since that crash, and after the verdict, the family told me they finally feel relieved.
I've been waiting for this moment since I got the call that they were gone. Seeing him get handcuffed was amazing.
The courtroom throughout this trial has been filled with family members of the 5 people killed and loved ones of Puebla. His sentencing has been scheduled for sometime in June. In Greeley, I'm Kelly Rinke, 9 News.
Tonight, we learned 2 people have been found in the Francis Scott Key Bridge disaster in Baltimore. Divers found a truck in about 25 feet of water with 2 men inside who were part of the crew filling potholes when the bridge collapsed into the river early yesterday morning. The other 4 men are still missing, presumed dead. Officials say their remains may be trapped beneath the wreckage of the bridge, and right now those areas are just too dangerous for divers to search. They also said tonight they need to reopen the channel as soon as possible. Plans for a new bridge are also in the works. For now, the NTSB is leading the investigation into what happened. Jefferson County is moving forward with plans to ban cars on Lookout Mountain Road at nighttime. County leaders say there was just so much vandalism, trash, even fires. They just couldn't keep the road open after dark anymore. Now, Jefferson County Open Space says they plan to add automatic gates at the east and west entrances. They'll close after an hour after sunset, and they'll open an hour before sunrise. Pedestrians and bikes can still get through. They'll work with police and fire departments to make sure they can still get in if there's an emergency up there. They also hope to get a timeline out on this project a bit later this week.
Deputies in Weld County are asking for the public's help to find a missing man tonight. They're concerned that he might hurt himself. Sean Salzman was last seen Friday in Longmont. He was wearing a black shirt with fluorescent green stripes, jeans, and brown boots. Deputies say he was headed west on Highway 34 in a dark-colored Dodge pickup with a cracked front windshield. They think that he might be in Teller or Lake counties like the Leadville area. If you know anything about where he might be, you're asked to call the Weld County Sheriff's Office. An attorney for Colorado's Republican Party cannot currently practice law. Former Trump legal advisor John Eastman is on the path to disbarment in California. Today, a state bar judge recommended that Eastman be permanently stripped of his law license for trying to overthrow the results of the 2020 election. The California bar filed 11 disciplinary charges against Eastman. The former CU Boulder visiting scholar has said he was just doing his job as Trump's attorney. The recommendation to disbar Eastman will go to the Supreme Court of California within 30 days. They have to accept that recommendation to make it final. Eastman could appeal, but regardless, he cannot practice law during that review.
A man in Parker is accused of lying on documents to get more than $1.4 million in COVID relief money. Tarek Kasim is now facing a federal indictment. Prosecutors say he applied for the money between March 2020 and March 2023 using 3 business names. Kasim is accused of using most of that money for personal reasons instead of business expenses like the applications claimed. The U.S. Attorney's Office says he also received unemployment benefits from the state of Colorado during the pandemic.
The city of Denver plans to sweep another migrant encampment soon. This time it is the camp outside Elitch Gardens. The mayor's office says they'll offer the people there housing at a temporary congregate shelter on Zuni Street. The city swept an encampment just outside that shelter in January, where migrants set up tents after timing out of the shelter. Earlier this year, the city said that it expected to spend $120 million on migrant services this year. For the past 50 years, Warren Village has been a stepping stone toward success for Denver's single parents, helping an estimated 8,000 people with resources and housing. Now that nonprofit is reflecting as it prepares to mark that milestone.
The parents do not have to worry about where their children are and who is watching them and how they are being cared for while they are focusing on their career or their education.
Warren Village would really like to hear from past residents, children of residents, and volunteers as they prepare for a special community gathering in May. If that's you or someone you know, we have information on how you can get involved in this article on 9news.com.